In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to make a dress bag, something that looks like this. To get started, you'll need this template, and you'll need a couple pieces of cardstock, and you place the template on the cardstock like this. It is designed to be 12 inches wide here to eliminate some cuts, and also to get the largest bag possible out of a standard piece of cardstock or scrapbook paper. So once you place your template on the paper or cardstock, you need to trace around the perimeter that's exposed. So on this particular one, I have the bottom lined up to the edge, and over here I have it lined up, and then I just trace around the perimeter like so in this area, just around the outside. And then the other thing I need to do is I need to place a couple score lines. Over here is the first score line, right there. There's another score line right here. Then there's a score marker here, and another line right here. And the last one I need to do is right across the bottom. And when you're done, you'll end up with something like this. This is the pattern, the outside pattern. And after you cut it out, this is what you'll have. So these tabs go up like this, these tabs go in like this, and this goes in like this. But you'll notice that I only have half a bag at this point. So we need to replicate what we just did on a second piece of cardstock. Do the same thing over again. So when you're finished, you will have two of these. The next thing we want to do is we want to put these together. Since they're identical in size, you'll need to make a couple slight modifications. And the first one is that you want to take this piece and just trim a little bit off in this area. I've done most of these steps already just in the interest of time. You want to trim some of this off, just on a little bit of an angle. This is how it came, and then I just trimmed this much off. This one here, you just want to trim just a smidge off. So these are a little bit tapered and they'll sit inside this piece. You also want to trim a smidge off the end of this, about 1/8 of an inch. And then you want to trim this side and then a little bit on this side. So I did most of these already just so I wouldn't be boring you with all the cuts. So they'll sit right into next to, inside, one inside the other, and then we need to build this now. We need to put this together. So these little, the first thing I want to do is glue this piece, the inside piece, the one we just trimmed. I want to apply a little bit of adhesive, and normally I would use a little different style of glue, but this is going to allow me to go a little quicker. So I place this where I need it to be positioned. Like so. And you want to just make sure that you've got these pieces that'll fold. You want to make sure that these sit inside here and here very well. And if not, you might need to make some slight modifications. The next thing is you want to apply a little bit of glue on this little tab. And again, I'd be using a different kind of glue when I'm making this permanent. But you want to get all 4 of these tabs with some adhesive on them. Then you bring these over like so until they're matched up to the edge. And this one over here. Bring this up like so. That one. And this one. So now I have basically the main part of the bag. Now I want to dress it up a little bit, and you might have noticed that the template had some of these other markings on it. There's some additional markings here. There's a little scallop here. There's two holes here as guidelines for string handles or ribbon. There's a couple lines here and here, and they're designed to give you just the shape you need to make a complementary apron, something like that. So I would just place this on a piece of colorful cardstock that complements the color of the background, and I would just trace those out, and I'd end up with a shape like this. Mostly I only do one, so you get just the one side. You of course can do the second side, but I just do the one here for this demonstration, and that's the piece you end up with. And you can just apply it straight away like so, or I've taken a couple extra steps to give me a little bit more of some frills by adding this on the side. I used a decal scissor, a pinking shear actually, and I'll show you the technique for doing that. So after you've traced that piece and cut it out, I just applied some glue to this and laid it on some white paper. And so now I know that this is my edge, and I would just take the pinking shears and just run them, you know, as close as I want to have a little edge to the whole apron here. It'd take a little bit more time if I was doing this for keeps. And then you just trim around this piece, you know, to get something like that on the edge. And just repeat it on this side. So when you're finished, you'll have this. I also put a little pocket on here to stay in the theme of the whole apron. And now I just want to apply that, adhere that piece to my bag. And for this I would use more permanent glue as well. But you just apply it like so, and trim off any excess that you have here. I also want to add some fun things to the top of my bag. These little pieces that would go here, like so. But before I do that, I don't want to cover up the holes here, so I want to put my ribbon in here for the string. So take a moment to do that. Okay, so I've taken a few moments to thread through the ribbon inside my bag, and I'm using it just like this to be on the inside. Now I just want to finish accessorizing this. I cut these out of white paper. I'm just going to add these just to top off the apron. Like so. And then I took a piece of leftover scrap that was from the paper I'm using for the apron, and I just use it here for a little button. So now you can see I've got a one-of-a-kind bag that's shaped like a dress.